Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a reality that many people feel, but very few have the courage to say out loud. In this world, most people do not truly respect your title, your position, or your designation. What they respect is your money, your financial power, and the freedom that money gives you. This may sound harsh, but it is the truth of the modern world. Titles can impress for a moment, but money changes behavior, attitude, and respect permanently. From childhood, we are taught to chase titles. Become a doctor, become an engineer, become an officer, become a manager. Society tells us that titles define success. Parents feel proud when they introduce their child with a big designation. Relatives respect you more when your job sounds important. But have you ever noticed how quickly this respect disappears when money is missing? A title without financial strength is like a crown made of paper. It looks good, but it has no weight. Look around you. A person with a high title but low income struggles silently. Their advice is ignored, their time is not valued, their opinions are questioned. On the other hand, a person with money, even without a fancy title, commands attention. People listen carefully when they speak. Doors open easily. Opportunities appear naturally. This is not because money makes someone wiser, but because money represents power, security, and independence. Money is respected because it solves problems. Titles cannot pay bills. Titles cannot protect your family during hard times. Titles cannot buy freedom of choice. Money can. When you have money, you have options. You can choose where to live, how to live, and with whom to live. You can say no to disrespect. You can walk away from toxic environments. That freedom is what people truly respect. Many people spend their entire lives protecting a title while living under pressure, stress, and fear. Fear of losing the job, fear of not being promoted, fear of disappointing society. They work long hours, sacrifice health, and delay happiness just to maintain an image. But ask yourself honestly, what is the use of a title if it does not give you peace? What is the value of a position if you cannot control your own time? Money is not evil. Poverty is not noble. The problem is not money. The problem is the mindset around money. Society teaches us to respect titles because titles are easy to explain. Money requires discipline, risk, and responsibility. Building wealth demands courage. It demands patience. It demands failure. That is why most people choose the safe path of titles instead of the uncertain path of financial growth. Let me be very clear here. This speech is not saying that education or titles are useless. Education gives knowledge, and titles can open doors. But if you stop there, you limit yourself. A title should be a tool, not your identity. Money should be your servant, not your master. When you combine skills, mindset, and financial intelligence, then money starts respecting you back. In real life, respect follows results, not promises. Money is proof of value in the marketplace. It shows that your skills solve real problems for real people. That is why entrepreneurs, investors, and creators often receive more respect than highly titled individuals, not because they are better humans, but because they produce visible impact. Ask yourself this question. If your title disappeared tomorrow, who would still respect you? If your job ended today, would your lifestyle survive? If the answer scares you, that fear is not weakness, it is awareness. Awareness is the first step towards growth. The moment you accept reality, you regain control. Most people remain stuck because they chase validation instead of value. They want applause instead of assets. They want recognition instead of results. But applause fades, assets remain, titles retire, money multiplies. The world does not reward effort, it rewards outcomes. You may work very hard, but if your work does not create value, respect will be temporary. This is why learning how money works is not optional anymore. Financial literacy is survival skill, not luxury. Understanding income, investments, savings, and risk is more important than memorizing definitions that will never be used outside exams. Schools teach us how to get a job, but life demands that we learn how to build income. When you control money, you control your life. When you depend completely on a title, your life is controlled by someone else. True respect comes from self-reliance. It comes from knowing that even if the system fails, you will not. That confidence cannot be faked. People sense it and they respond to it. Remember this, people respect money not because it shines, but because it represents discipline, sacrifice, and courage. Behind every strong financial position is a story of persistence, a story of late nights, a story of failures, a story of learning. That is the respect people are actually giving, not to the money, but to what it took to earn it. Now that we have accepted the truth that the world respects money more than titles, the real question is not whether this is right or wrong. The real question is, what are you going to do about it? Complaining about reality doesn't change it. Understanding reality and adapting to it does. The moment you stop fighting the truth, you start winning. If you want respect that doesn't disappear with a job change, you must shift your mindset from title chasing to value creation. Titles are given, value is earned. Titles depend on permission, value depends on performance. When you focus on creating value, money follows naturally. And when money follows, respect follows automatically, without asking, without begging, without explaining who you are. Society may pretend to hate wealth, but deep inside, it admires it. People criticize rich individuals in public, but secretly wish to live their life. This hypocrisy exists because wealth exposes effort, discipline, and courage, things most people avoid. It's easier to judge than to build. It's easier to talk than to take risk. Don't let opinions from people who never tried stop you from moving forward. Money gives you a voice in a world that often ignores the weak. When you have financial strength, people listen differently. Your words carry weight. Your decisions are respected, not because you are louder, but because you are independent. Independence is dangerous to a system that thrives on dependence. That is why self-made individuals are respected and feared at the same time. Financial power also builds confidence, not the loud, fake confidence, but the calm confidence. The confidence that comes from knowing you can handle emergencies. The confidence that comes from choosing rest over exhaustion. The confidence that allows you to walk away from disrespect without anger. This confidence cannot be taught in books. It is earned through financial stability. Many people say money cannot buy happiness. That statement is incomplete. Money may not guarantee happiness, but lack of money guarantees stress. It guarantees limitation. It guarantees dependence. Money buys time, and time is the foundation of happiness. Time to spend with family, time to take care of health, time to grow, time to live on your own terms. You must also understand this. Money does not change who you are, it reveals who you are. If you are disciplined, money makes you stronger. If you're careless, money exposes it faster. That is why financial growth must be matched with personal growth. Character without money struggles. Money without character collapses. But when both grow together, the result is unstoppable. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is temporary. Build systems, learn skills that pay, invest in knowledge that compounds. Surround yourself with people who talk about growth, not gossip. Use your title as a starting point, not a destination. Your degree, your job, your position, these are tools, not trophies. Remember, no one owes you respect. Respect is rented daily through results. The world doesn't care how hard your journey was, it cares where you ended up. This may sound cold, but it is freeing, because it means your past doesn't define you. Your actions today do. If you are struggling right now, don't feel ashamed. Struggle is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of transition. Every financially strong person you admire once stood where you are standing now, confused, tired, and doubted. The difference is that they didn't stop. They chose discomfort over regret. One day, people who ignored you will ask for your advice. People who doubted you will respect your silence. People who measured you by your title will measure you by your impact. That day does not come by luck. It comes by discipline. It comes by patience. It comes by refusing to settle. So decide today. Decide whether you want temporary respect or permanent freedom. Decide whether you want to protect a title or build a life. Decide whether you want applause for who you appear to be or respect for what you have built. Because in the end, titles fade, positions change, and opinions shift. But financial independence stays. And when you control your money, you control your destiny. Thank you.